Norview High School. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hins. WHCS Channel 5 presents the Eastern Regional Group AAA Division 5 semifinals between the Bethel Bruins and the Lake Taylor Titans. We are here at a chilly Chittum Field on the campus of Norview High School.
This is really perfect for football, Tim. There's very little wind. What wind it is going across the field. The temperature is in the low 50s, high 40s. It's a team. You've got two teams here, one undefeated and the Bethel Bruins, and you look at the two sides. The Bethel side is filled up and the other side is not filled up, so you see what team really pulls in the fans. You've got a team that's got real quickness and great in Lake Taylor. They're undefeated. Bethel is fast. They may not be as quick, but they're fast. Bethel's got a great chance at this ball game, Tim, tonight. But I tell you, it's going to come down to who can control the line of scrimmage. As always, if you're controlling the line of scrimmage, you kind of dictate how the game goes.
The Bethel Bruins, of course, are led by Allen Iverson, the junior quarterback sensation who had such an electrifying game against the Hampton Crabbers in that big 30-10 victory last week at Darling Stadium. The Lake Taylor Titans, they are a predominant running team. They are going to look for the running to take place from Jim Staten, who had over 1,000 yards on the season, averaging better than 100 yards per game, and he'll be complemented by D'Angelo Hodges, who averaged more than 83 yards per game during their 10-game season. The defense is very potent for this Lake Taylor team. They only allowed 48 points all season long while setting up 3 shutouts. On the other side, Bethel is an extremely good defensive team as well, allowing a little more than 10 points per game, and they also recorded 3 shutouts in the tough Peninsula District. On the peninsula. And
you just said the right word, tough Peninsula District. The district over on the peninsula is probably tougher top to bottom than any other district. And I was talking to several of the Peninsula District coaches, and they seem to agree with me. But I want to focus a little bit on Bert Harrell, who was the head coach over there at Lake Taylor.
Well, you never know about a 10-0 season. A lot of variables. We knew we could have a good football team, and there's some real good kids here, and we're excited about what's happened. Now we got to get ready for this bunch from Bethel.
Okay, tell me a little bit about your team.
Well, we're not very big. We defensively we're real quick. We've got a lot of speed on the perimeter, and we can't match up size-wise with any of the teams in the playoffs, but we have to rely on quickness. Offensively is about the same way.
Okay, well, that's what I heard about your team, is very quick, very disciplined. You had talked about getting these guys to believe in themselves, and that's not an easy job at the high school level.
Well, the last several years, we've lost some over here, and that's not typical Lake Taylor football. Last 3 years, we've won, 3-7 a couple times, and there were some good kids here, and we thought maybe it's a matter of teaching them how to win. It's a habit. You get in a losing habit, and it's hard to get them out of that. And we did that early on, won the first two or three ball games, and then went from there. Momentum built, and the kids got confidence, and now they think they're good, and they really are pretty decent.
Well, that's great. Tell me what team over here that you have played this year that you think compares to Bethel.
Well, I don't think we played anybody as big as they are.
Okay.
Maybe Western Branch is in that category. Western Branch has a great prospect at quarterback named T.J. Giles that runs well, throws well. He reminds me of the quarterback at Bethel. And Western Branch is huge. Probably not as big as Bethel, but they remind me very much of each other.
That it's got to be a tremendous accomplishment for you to come back first year after being out for about 13 years and to take this team to a 10-0 season. And tell them just a little bit about you. The head coach was here last year, is now your defensive coordinator. Quite a story.
Well, we opened in '67. I was a head football coach for 12 years and became athletic director full-time, and the guy who took my place was my defensive coordinator, and he held the job until last spring. A boy named Bill Mara, who took us to the state finals in '82. Did a great job. Got tired of it, resigned in May. They asked me if I'd take it, and I agreed to do that, not knowing, obviously, of how we would do, but we thought we could win. So when I took the job, Billy asked to come back as my defensive coordinator, and I accepted that. Some coaches may have been intimidated, but Billy had worked for me. It's worked out great. We have another head coach on our staff named Kenny Whitley. He was a head coach at Norview, who's worked very well. The three of us have worked very well together, and it's helped.
Well, when you have a good chemistry, that goes down to the kids, because I know that the kids that you have in the team is going to reflect the coaching staff. So if your kids are good and they're out there and they got a positive attitude, it comes right down from the head coaches.
I agree with that. And both Billy and Ken and our backfield coach, Marie Sanderson, has been here 20 years, and they all have good people skills. They work well. They work well on the field with kids, and we do have some discipline there, and, you know, it's been fun. It's been a fun year. Obviously, it's a Cinderella year.
Well, very good. Well, listen, congratulations on a fine year, and good luck Friday evening.
Thank you very much.
Okay, very good.
There's 31 years of head coaching experience on the Lake Taylor side. So they've got the experience coaching-wise, but I tell you, Coach Kaz comes up with things every week, the little different, little wrinkles that you can't prepare for.
Well, Coach Kaz, of course, has a superb coaching staff of his own, and arguably Coach Kozlowski has been one of the most successful coaches in high school football, certainly on the peninsula, for a number of years.
Bob Hens with Dennis Kozlowski, coach of the Bethel Bruins. Coach, I got one of the shirts on. It said you did it 2 years in a row. To beat Hampton 2 years in a row is quite an accomplishment. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. You know, in defense of Mike, they turned the ball over early in the ball game, and that's very difficult to rebound from, and look for him to do a good job this week against Norcom.
Okay, now you got a pretty decent opponent in Lake Taylor. They're undefeated. They're not a big team, but they're very quick.
Well, they have two exciting runners, in number 3 and number 7. Their quarterback does a good job throwing the ball. They're very quick defensively. We're going to have to be very sharp and very precise in our execution of our offense. And defensively, if we give them the room, those guys can really scamper and break one from anywhere on the field.
Well, if you guys can play as good defensively Friday as you did Saturday, that was one of the best defensive games that I've seen in any Peninsula team in a long time. I thought the team played under control with emotion, but under control.
Well, we did execute very well. We stressed to the players all week long about doing their assignments first and then hustling to aid any other player that might need some help. And that was one of the reasons why we had sometimes 2, 3, maybe even 4 hats on the ball at any one particular time. It was a total team effort because everyone stayed in their correct pursuit routes and everybody seemed to be on the same page.
Well, that's always helpful. I was talking to Bert Harrell, and he said he took this team over last May, found out the coach was giving up. They had a 3-7 last year, good turnaround. He felt like the team was capable, but they just had to learn how to win again. And so you're coming off a team with a lot of confidence.
Well, they're undefeated, ranked number 1 in the Eastern region by the Power Point system, by the Virginia High School League. I think they're ranked number 2 in the state. So anyone who has accomplished that is a very good football team without question. They've been consistent. I think the disadvantage that we face is the fact they have 3 head coaches on their staff. Bill Morrow, who was the previous head coach, who was a previous assistant of Coach Harrell's, has experience as a head coach. Ken Whitley, who was the former head coach at Norview, did an excellent job over there. And also Bert himself, who actually coached against us in the 1976 playoffs.
Okay, now let's talk about that 76. We go back 76. Who came out on the top of that game?
Well, I think we kind of got the better of them in that game because we eventually won a state championship up at Falls Church.
Okay. Well, Coach, going into this game, have you been able to make any adjustments because of the speed of this other team? You feel like your team has come off of that high with Hampton and are ready to get down to work?
Well, we tried to stress the fact that this ball game is just the same as Hampton. And I guess one of the key things we tried to stress to our players is they've got the same colors.
I had a chance to talk with Kaz a little earlier out on the field. Ken Whitley stopped by, and Ken Whitley was a young man who coached with Kozlowski, played ball with Kozlowski, and now he's an assistant over there at Lake Taylor High School. So it's enjoyable to see these 2 rivals reminiscing and enjoying their friendship over the years. As soon as that whistle sounds and the ball is in the air, they'll forget anything about friendship for 48 minutes of football. But it is kind of enjoyable. A lot of people get caught up in, I gotta win. And these coaches go out and they enjoy themselves while they're winning. And let me mention one other thing before we get into the lineups. These 2 teams did play a common opponent. They played, as a matter of fact, the team whose field we're at tonight, the Norview Pilots. And while the Lake Taylor team won 33-0. Bethel also beat them 25-0. There you see the chain gang out here for the game tonight. And right now, let's go down some of the lineups. Bob, is that what we wanted to do?
Well, if Scotty can pop them up on the screen, we can go ahead and get the lineups just before we come out with the kickoff. We watched, they had the toss of the coin prior to the beginning of the game so that the coaches can talk to their prospective teams and say, okay, we're going to be on defense first or offense first or whatever, and they can get some adjustments made right there. There you see one of the stats. We have a Peninsula District crew that is doing the refereeing tonight, and that was done strictly on a draw. And as you can see, the Bethel defense, we have Page at center. We got Anders and Coulter are the two guards. Dean and Schultz are the two tackles. Chris Gaskell and Jason Walker are the two ends for the Bruins, who will have two tight ends when they run. Rounding out the backfield for the Bethel Bruins, you have wideout Kelly Rogers. The fullback will be Bobby Sims, and I got a point I want to make about him before the game goes on. Fullback is Michael Jackson. No, actually, Michael Jackson will be the tailback, and the quarterback, of course, Allen Iverson.
Go ahead and mention that story about Bobby Sims real quickly if you want.
Well, 3 weeks ago, Roger Bouchard had a vision or a premonition that he ought to take this young man and get him ready for fullback. He had never played fullback, is not on the depth chart, and now he's starting at fullback because of the injury to Matt Harris.
Well, that was, and that's a good point, too. Matt Harris, I'm not even sure Matt is dressed out for tonight's game. He injured himself, severe sprained ankle in the Hampton game. As you see, the Bethel Bruins getting ready to make their way onto the field, kind of have been letting the Lake Taylor Titans cool off on the field while they were slow to get out here. Kyle's doing a little psych job.
A little psych job. If we got a chance, Scotty will put up one of the offense or defense for the Lake Taylor Titans. We'll go through there.
There's
you go,
the
Tim.
defense. Hextall is the nose guard. The tackles are Christ and Johnson. Simmons and Harvey will be the ends on Lake Taylor's defensive squad. There you are seeing the Lake Taylor Titans in their red and gray and white. The linebackers are Day and Anderson. Elliott McSwain also play defensive back. In the corner is Ryland, and the safety would be Doug Davis for the Lake Taylor Titans. This is a very small Lake Taylor team. Their biggest starter weighs 210 pounds. So they are going to have to rely on quickness if they're going to stop a superior in size Bethel High School team. Another point I want to make, too, is that this Bethel High School team, with 2 losses, is only 4 points away from being undefeated.
That was, you and I were talking about that coming over tonight, and I think that's a valid point, Tim.
They were defeated by 3 points at the hands of the Denby Patriots, who finished the season 8-2 and will be in Group AAA Division 6 playoff action tonight. And the other loss, of course, was that 1-point loss to the Phoebus Phantoms 2 games ago in a hard-fought, incredibly exciting football. We've had some great games this year on Channel 5. But so the Bruins could easily be coming into this game 10-0 as well. And certainly no one can look past the fact that these Bruins defeated a superb Hampton team last week, and they beat them pretty well, 30-10 over at Darling Stadium in that annual Battle of the Titans. Let's look down on the field right now and check out the proceedings with Rich Rawls.
Yeah, I know Gary's got the there you go.
Richard Rawls is our referee. That is he talking to both teams.
He is
Point
Mike.
toss, call it.
Here we go. We can hear
Call
him.
a head. It is a head. You want to toss. It's your choice, correct? You decide you're going to be receiving. You're going to be kicking, defending this goal, correct? Now, if you come around this side, Red come around this side. Bethel won the toss. Deferred their choice the second half. Lake Taylor will be receiving. Gentlemen, let's have a good game.
All right, so we're happy to say that Richard Rawls, our referee, has a mic and it's working. We appreciate his cooperation, as we've had a tremendous amount of cooperation throughout the regular season with our officials. Ron Messier is the umpire. The linesman is Cliff Kaufman. The line judge is Ron Boyd, and the back judge will be Bernie Respect.
And there we go with the Lake Taylor offense, Tim. We have Nash at center. Hextall and Persons are the tackles. Kristen Dumas are the tackles. The ends are Miles and Day. Rounding out their backfield, they have one flanker that they'll run, and that's John McSwain. The running backs are Staten and Hodges, and the quarterback is Skip Wright.
And as you heard, the Bruins did win the toss and have elected to play defense first. They have deferred to the second half. So what will happen, of course, is the Bruins will receive the second half kickoff, and they will be on defense. And there you see their defense. Chris Gaskell and Lamont Williams are the guards, rather. Dean and Hargraves, the tackles. Brandon Chenault and Wilton Evans will be the ends for the Bruins on defense. As you look at some of the Bruin coaching staff, Xavier Gunn and Sean Robinson are the linebackers. The corners are Devan Hill and Alfred Terrell, and the safety will be Alan Iverson. We're about set to get this one underway.
All right, let's get.
Knew we had a lot of extra time there.
Yeah, we should have got those interviews.
Well,
but anyway, let's rumble.
All right, we are underway, and the ball carrier is stopped for little or no return. That is John McSwain.
And that was number 84 for the Bruins making the stop, Tim. And 84 is Lloyd Billingsley for the Bruins. A lot of speed that time shown by the Bruins.
Ball marked at the 20-yard line for this initial possession by the Lake Taylor Titans. There you see the red and gray and white of the Lake Taylor Titans. Skip Wright is the quarterback. Right, or rather left side handoff, trying to turn the corner. That is
Devan Hill's the one who made the tackle, Tim.
And that would be, the ball carrier was number 7, and that is D'Angelo Hodges. Pickup of about, well, let's call it 2 on the play. Second down and 8 for the Titans. Our vantage point here at Chittum Field is much lower and further back than we're normally used to at Superior Darling Stadium. So bear with us as we trying to get our bearings here in a field that's much less lit than Darling Stadium 2. So bear with us. Over the middle, a pass intended, and a late flag comes down.
Where's the flag?
Derek Day was the intended receiver. A late flag came down. We're waiting to see what this call is going to be, and it's apparently going to be against Lake Taylor. Day was the intended receiver. Skip Wright has not done a great deal of passing. This game, this team does run the ball predominantly.
Well, if you're good as running as they have been, you don't need to pass.
Well, and Day has only thrown 62 passes all year long, and 386 yards.
Excuse me, Tim, but Bethel is playing so tight, and they figured they would pull them up tight to stop the running game. So that's why they're trying that quick thing. But there was offensive pass interference is what it was, and that's a big one that takes the ball down to about the 11, it looks like.
So it brings up now as second down and about 18 for the Titans.
Well, the Bruins wanted to be on defense first. Cos felt so good that the team got together and played so well defensively against the Crabbers. He feels that they can end up with much better field position, forcing them to punt and not letting them get any yardage on their first possession. And, of course, that takes the wind out of your sails, too.
Continuing discussion with Richard Rawls. And there you see the flag and the wind that is a factor, or could be a factor. Ineligible receiver downfield, by the way, was the call against Lake Taylor.
Well, they've moved the ball, so that's not as big a penalty, evidently, which will take the ball back to, I might have said.
Would it be a 5-yard penalty?
We have an ineligible receiver downfield, not offensive pass interference, be a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
All right, so you heard Richard Rawls explain that it's a 5-yard penalty. So after the initial 2-yard gain, that makes it second down and 13. So we're underway here. 12-minute quarters in high school football. And the swarming Bethel defense led this time by number 55.
Jonathan Dean along with number 43 for the Bruins, Tim. That's Wilton Evans.
I'll let you call him then if I'm.
No, that's not. I just. Go ahead.
No, I'm
stepping all over you.
At any rate, the play is a 1-yard loss for Lake Taylor. Here you see the handoff going to number 3, Jim Staten. He was their leading rusher, as I mentioned, over 1,069 yards during the regular season. This is the quarterback option, and good quickness for Wright. He is out close to a first down.
It looks like he's going to be about a yard or so short. He had to get to the 30, which will bring up a 4th down. But the Bruins did a good job on the play before that. Number 43, Wilton Evans, turned the play inside. Watch the replay here on the quarterback option. They did a good job of blocking it, but there was a nice tackle coming right here by number 33 for the Bruins. And
that's Brandon Chenault, the freshman.
That freshman just amazes me. He keeps now excitement.
So we're in deep punt formation with 4th down and a yard. The Bruins aren't necessarily sure, but now we do see the snap and a kick. Allen Iverson trying to wait for it to bounce. He will do so. Iverson down the far sideline is tripped out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. So the Bruins will have very good field position for their first offensive possession.
So the first thing the Cows want to do, good field position, becoming on defense first, paid off for him. If Allen could have moved up a little bit and caught that ball before it bounced, we may have seen a little different result.
Get a chance to watch this again. Here's the punt. Iverson waiting for it.
Just almost like a pooch kick, Tim. It wasn't...
This is Michael Jackson trying to turn the corner, and a good defensive stop by the Lake Taylor Titans. Michael Jackson thrown for a loss of about 2 yards.
Well, that was number 5 and 6, John McSwain and Diego Ryland, the 2 defensive backs on that side, put this hurting and really dropped Bethel to a, looks like, what, about a 2-yard loss?
Yep. So it's a 2nd down and a long 11. Let's call it 12 for the Bruins. Allen Iverson is the quarterback. Iverson hands off to Jackson, and Jackson again stacked up. Good second effort. Got it back to the line of scrimmage, but that's all as the swarming Titan defense, and they are called the Swarming Bees. This is a name that Coach Bert Harrell has dubbed on this very small, but as you've already seen, very quick and sure tackling defensive team.
Well, Michael Jackson saved getting a large loss there. He did get back to the line of scrimmage, but how quick that team reacts.
This team hits and hits quickly. This is Iverson on the rollout, looking, throwing, got a man open at the 45-yard line. A first down for the Bruins. That'll be number 80, Michael Simmons.
Well, we haven't seen that end on that side catch many plays, but what a nice pickup of about a 15, 16-yard watch this, Tim. It's just a fake to the Michael Jackson, and Allen is wide open at the side, but he threw the ball wide open receiver. Nice job by Allen Iverson.
First down at the Lake Taylor 45-yard line for the Bruins. Of course, the effectiveness of the pass will help open up that running game. This is Iverson, and Iverson is going to run and throw and have it picked off. And Chris Gaskell was the intended receiver, and an ill-advised pass caught by Mario Elliott.
Well, I think Allen did not want to take the sack, and sometimes what you have to do is to take a sack so you get another play rather than try to force the ball.
Get a chance to see this again. You're going to see Iverson rolling to the near side. Good job to get around a would-be tackler. And then the most difficult thing of all, a right-handed quarterback to throw while moving to his left. And you saw it right in the hands of Mario Elliott for the turnover. So at the 33-yard line now, the Titans will start from there. Good look at Skip Wright, the quarterback. Man in motion. And again, that pursuing defense by the Bruins stops Jim Staten before he has a chance to get outside. I tell you what, we're seeing two, not one, but two very quick defenses.
Well, Xavier Gunn, who was a linebacker on that side, was the one that made the initial hit and strung that ball out and only allowed him to pick up about a half a yard. As you can watch, quarterback getting hit. Watch that. You see a great job by Xavier. Bethel's not a slow team. They may not be as quick, but they've got some speed.
Gain of about a yard on the play. Second down, and let's call it 9 for the Titans. Neither team having much success here moving the football, and the Bruin defensive line is able to finally bring down, and I say finally, D'Angelo Hodges, who just refused to go down. A second, third, and fourth effort got him a plus yardage.
It sure did. He picked up maybe about six yards on that play. 5, 6 yards. That was a beautiful second effort on his part.
He was stopped cold at the line of scrimmage, and only through his extra effort did he end up getting about 6 yards. Third down and
what the coaches will tell you is you got to wrap them up.
Inside handoff, and this is going to be close to a first down. It would appear that it will be about a yard short.
It depends on the spot. You're right.
They need to get to the 44. It looks like they're about the 43. So it'll be a fourth down now, and let's see whether or not Lake Taylor will go for it. It would appear that they are, and they catch.
See that weird formation that they're in.
Okay,
here comes the punter.
Late getting the punter on the field, so that almost caused some concern for the Bruins. They weren't sure whether to switch or not, and I'm not sure they've got the special team on there that they want. This is the low kick. Looked like it might have been touched. Iverson has it at the 30, and Iverson will get only to about the 35-yard line. So it's been a defensive battle so far, Bob. 4:51 left in the first quarter. We have no score, but right now it's 3 down and out.
Well, Bethel did get a first down, but John McSwain, number 5, was the one that made the and Bethel come very close to blocking that.
If you'll notice, their punter does not line up real deep. He has got a shorter drop, and I would look for the Bruins to put extra pressure.
Well, but he's not taking, but he's just taking a step and kicking the ball. He's not taking the normal steps that you would see a kicker take.
Iverson back, wants to pass, throws, got a man open. This is number 7, Demrick Kirk, making the grab for the short game.
I tell you what, if you look for Bethel to put the ball in the air a little bit, loosen up that defense, that will open up their running game, and you might see a draw or something that Michael Jackson may break open here.
Ball is marked just shy of the 40-yard line. 39-yard line, let's call it. It'll be second down and about 5. Again, Iverson straight back, looking, throwing, got a man open, and it's Kirk again, and it looks like Kirk has the first down at about the 48-yard line.
Tim, number 77 for the Bruins, is playing that left tackle. We haven't talked much about him. That's Mike Schultz. He is 265, 6'8", 11th grader. Just a junior.
There you saw a good look at Coach Kozlowski. Here's the replay, and look at the good time that Iverson had. His offensive line giving him an excellent time. Now on the quarterback draw play, Allen Iverson picks up about 5 into Lake Taylor territory. Second time in the game that the Bruins have been across midfield. This time at the Lake Taylor 48-yard line.
Big number 77. See the size of that young? Well, he's not on our starters, but evidently he plays a lot. So Kaz may have started him, and he tells me depends on what formation they're in, what people are going to start. So I'm making sure that guy's too big to ignore.
Put him and Chris Gaskell as they are side by side. You've got about 500 pounds of football players. This is Iverson trying to get around the corner. Iverson has that great quickness, and he is out of bounds after picking up the first down at the 35-yard line.
What quickness this young man shows. But not only quickness, but there's the article that you talked about in the paper. Coach Harrell says what really makes him exciting or dangerous is his peripheral vision and his ability to find open areas.
Here's the replay. There you see him being pursued by very quick Lake Taylor players, and then using his head and not taking a heavy hit. He just got out of bounds, but not before he picked up the big first down at the 35. Iverson again, straight back pass and throws incomplete. Good defensive stick.
McSwain.
That was number 5, McSwain, who put it on the intended receiver. That was Kelly Rogers over there.
I thought that was number 7.
Was it 7, Demrick Kirk?
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's hard to see here with the crowd. Maybe on the replay we'll be able to see a little bit better. Now you're absolutely right. It's Demrick Kirk. Our vision somewhat obscured by the players on the near sideline. Second down and 10 for the Bruins. Rolling to his right now. Iverson sees a hole and picks his spot. A flag goes down, a late flag. And this might be in the area where you'd look for it to be it's a holding call against the Bruins. So that'll hurt, as the Bruins now will have a major penalty assessed against them with 3:24 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, not only that, but it's from the point of the foul, so that is going to be a big one. The point of the flag, so.
We're going to see this on replay. See if you can pick up a holding that occurred.
Holding, offense, replay second.
I think they're going to say it occurred back there where Chris Gaskell was, because that's the area it was thrown. I did not see the hold occur, but that's where the flag was thrown in that general area.
And
so
looks like about a 20-21 yards to go for first down, or even as much as 22 yards.
Yeah, it's 22 actually. Second down and 22 for the Bruins. There you see a good look at Allen Iverson. You like what he does on the football field? Wait for basketball season. Iverson steps up, throws, got Kelly Rogers, and the ball is caught and intercepted by number 8 again. That is Mario Elliott. So that ball underthrown was picked off for the second time in this ball game by Elliott of Lake Taylor.
I don't think that the Bruins outside receivers have got the speed that they can run away from those defensive backs with the quickness they have.
Me again.
As you can see on the replay, if it had been a little harder throwing, 25 was breaking into the open for the Bruins, and that's Alfred Terrell.
So the second time in the ball game, and now we have movement. It looks like it'll be illegal procedure against Lake Taylor. Looks like one of the linemen on the offensive line may have left a little earlier. That's only the 7th INT for Allen Iverson. He had 5 on the season coming into this game, and already 2 here in the first quarter. So Allen's going to have to be a little more selective in his passes.
Well, what he's got to understand is this team has got a lot more quickness in the secondary than
against the offense.
Than what he probably has run into this year. And we appreciate Richard Rawls letting us know what happened there. That was prior to the snap.
And by the way, I do want to mention that the statistics that I've been quoting to you are compliments of our good friends over at the Daily Press. The sports department, the sports writers over there, Mike Peach, Sonny Dirth, Eric Pugh, and Tony Anthony, and many others who do a great job of covering high school sports on the peninsula, and we certainly appreciate all season long their assistance in these statistical compilations.
Amen to that. Number 11, Xavier Gunn, the outside linebacker, or actually the linebacker on that right side, made the stop after about a 3 to 4 yard gain by the Titans. Well, and I didn't get the offensive back who ran at that time.
The Bruins average more than 30 points a game, while Lake Taylor 23 points a game. We might see a 6-0 game before this one's over with the quickness we're seeing on the field by both defenses. Right side handoff goes to number 7, D'Angelo Hodges.
And that was Jonathan Dean, and again, Xavier Gunn in on the stop. Gunn is all over the place, and that's who's supposed to be making your tackles, is your linebackers.
Here's your replay there. You see
Did you see what he did? He fought off a good block. He's not the one that actually made a tackle. It was Jonathan Dean, but Gunn did a good job of fighting off the block and getting in on the tackle.
3rd down and 8 for the Titans. And it looks like the Bruins might have jumped off. I don't see a flag, however.
Yeah, I think there's a flag.
Skip Wright throws it up. It's caught! It's caught! The ball was tipped and caught by number 5, John McSwain. I do not see a flag.
I don't see a flag either, Tim. I thought I saw one, but there's not one. But had the Bethel back not tipped the ball, he would not have caught it.
With 56 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Skip Wright airs the ball up, and John McSwain ran under it, got the tip ball, and went in for the score. High snap from center. The kick is up, and the kick is good, making it 7-0 in favor of the Lake Taylor Titans. So a team that does not pass the ball much. Here's your replay. It was not a good-looking pass, but it worked out to their benefit. It looked like one of the Bruins left early on the line play, but there was no penalty flag. And there you saw Wright just throw it up for grabs. And you're going to see the Bruin defender tip the ball, and in his efforts to intercept it, Alfred Terrell tipped it right into the hands of the receiver. An 81-yard pass play has quieted this Bethel crowd, and the Titans have struck and made the Bruins pay for that turnover. Well, that's one of those cases where, you know, the defender did everything he was supposed to do. He got his hands up there. He was trying to intercept the pass or deflect it, and it just went right in the hands.
In that case, what he should have tried to do is catch the ball rather than bat the ball. And, of course, that's hindsight. We can see right now that's what he should have done. But you do what you can do out there. And we got to remember that we got off something here.
Looks like offside against Lake Taylor on the kickoff. They'll back it up 5 yards.
Well, they definitely don't want Allen to get the ball on the kickoff. They're kicking across field. They're kind of squibbing the kick. So they're not letting
Dead ball. The legal procedure gets the kicking team.
Now the Bruins, if I may be so bold, they've got to maintain their cool here and realize that they've only allowed 7 points and not to get down on themselves. And this was truly a fluke play, if you will. It looked for all intents and purposes that it would be either intercepted by the Bruins or tipped away, and it went right into the hands of McSwain. And sometimes you just can't win them for losing them.
Well, you'll hear some coaches talk sometime when you'd rather be lucky or good, and they say, give me all the luck I can get.
McSwain only made 3 catches all year long.
We had another flag on the play. Maybe it's another penalty. I didn't.
McSwain caught 3 passes all year, but to his credit, they averaged 33 yards per catch. So he's the big play man on the offense for the passing.
Well, now we got
Bethel. Encroachment. That's White.
So they've gone 5 yards back. Now they'll go 5 yards forward, and they'll try it again. One might say, hey, guys, let's quit being so picky and just let them kick the ball off. I wouldn't say that, but someone might say
Somebody might say that.
There you see Kozlowski. He might have said that. All right, so we're back to where we were. No time has gone off the clock. We've just kicked the ball twice, and nothing's happened yet. And the Bruins, as I said, can make things happen when they handle that football. One of the up men, this is Wilton Evans, and he puffed it up and got it back. And he'll start his Bruins from the 35-yard line. You know, there's a real good reason why they don't want Allen Iverson to touch that ball.
Why is that,
He's returned 14 kicks this year, 5 of them for touchdowns. So when you got that kind of return percentage, you want to be real careful about who gets the football. Here's your replay of the kick. Mishandled momentarily by Chris Gaskell. There you saw the ball come loose and get gathered back in by Wilton Evans. But the Bruins now will start from their 35-yard line. Again, good field position for Allen Iverson and group. They find themselves trailing 7-0 here in the first quarter. Iverson looks, has no one open, now tries to get away, throws sideline for Demerick Kirk. He threw that ball away. That was a good heads-up play, but that was, again, you got to make sure you definitely throw it away. You throw one of those wounded ducks up there, you're asking for trouble. Stops the clock with 18 seconds left in the first quarter. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. There you see our group up there on the air-conditioned roof.
Well, and you also see part of the Bethel coaching brains staff there.
I apologize for the glare coming off of the booth here.
Well, you know, that's going to happen, Tim. I don't know what you can do about that. A little powder, makeup man.
Second down and 10 for the Bruins. Iverson drops back and then rushes about 3 or 4 yards at the most. That was a set play. That was a quarterback draw. Trying to capitalize on the quickness of Lake Taylor and their quick pursuit. See if they might actually run past him as you would do with a halfback or a tailback draw. You do the quarterback draw for the same reason.
Right. Now, well, we got this timeout for the end of the first quarter, let me talk about our player of the game. We will pick a DC Engraving Sports Place player of the game from Bethel High School tonight. That person will receive a plaque and a shirt. DC Engraving is located in Taft Square, Route 17. Dave Buckwalter is the young man who's a proprietor out there. The shirt comes from the Sports Place, which is located at Hampton Woods Plaza, and Dave Chubb is the young man there. And I want to thank Dave Chubb for the shirts that he did for the Bethel Bruins with the Bethel Bruin and the crab on it that he gave to Coach Kozlowski. So we will pick a player of the game. This is an unscientific thing that Tim and I do. We just try to recognize one of the players that we feel should get some special recognition that does not reflect on the ball players themselves.
Real quickly, your first quarter statistics, the Titans had the ball 8 minutes and 4 seconds, while the Bruins only 3:56. Total net yardage. I don't have it on my screen.
Well, Tim, I tell you what Allen's got to do is Allen's got to not try to do it all himself.
He's got a fine compliment that he can go to. Throwing the pass for Kelly Rogers on the far sideline, and they say no, he was out of bounds. It would have been very close to a first down, but it's ruled to have been caught out of bounds. You know, he's got Michael Jackson, who is a superb running back for the Bethel Bruins. Had a great season, did Michael, with 885 yards rushing. And yes, Lake Taylor has quick pursuit and everything else, but you've got to go to the guys who did it for you.
I agree with that.
Kevin Melvin back in deep punt formation for the Bruins on 4th down and 7.
Tim, they've only got 4 men on the line of scrimmage. They're not going to rush the passer with a whole lot of people. Or the punter, I'm sorry. Oh, he waved his hand like it was a fair catch. And the official, did you see him?
No, I didn't.
We used to have that on replay. That man waved his hand like it was a fair catch, but then took off running. So evidently, maybe just getting the sun out of his eyes. I don't know.
Jim Staten, let's see if we can pick it up on the replay. You're going to see a low snap, but Melvin gets the kick away all right.
We
don't
missed
see it there, but anyway, it was not called, as the case may be. The Titans now with good field position, ball just shy of their 45-yard line. This is Staten, right side, for a couple of yards across the 45 to about the 46.
Xavier Gunn, number 11, again on the stop, assisted by Robinson, the other linebacker. Bethel just got to stay within themselves, play the defense, cause a turnover, get back in. You know, this is an early game. Offensively, Lake Taylor has not shown much on that long pass that was tipped by one of the Bruins.
Wright still has the football, wants to throw long. He throws deep, and it's picked off. This is the young man, Terrell, who tipped the ball earlier and resulted in the touchdown, but this time he's the man on the receiving end. He returns the ball out to the 29-yard line.
Well, I tell you, Allen Iverson threw a great block to help spring him, so Allen doesn't just run the ball and pass the ball, he also blocks and tackles.
They're going to get a chance to see this again. Wright with good protection in spite of that big defensive line the Bruins have. The Lake Taylor Titans give their quarterback good time, and here you see an excellent job of playing defense. The intended receiver
right there's the
Hodges.
block I was talking about.
Yeah, he put a good
and
block
there's another one from DeVan Hill.
So the Bruins now with the turnover recipient, and this is Michael Jackson, and Jackson picks up 7 or 8 yards. So this is what the Bruins really have to do. They don't want to get away from their game plan, and certainly your point was real well taken. Allen has to remember he is not a one-man team out there.
Well, and Allen is calling what Coach gives him, too, for the most part. So Kaz has got a lot of offensive weapons. And what you do is you utilize them all. You make the defense think about all your weapons and not about just one by using only one weapon.
This is Jackson stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and he will lose yardage.
Kaz is really upset because he wants those people to go into the line and run hard, and we lost yardage on that play. And there's a good shot of Coach Kaz on the sideline. We get a chance, I will talk about the coaching staff for the Bruins.
Here's your replay. You're going to see Sims trying to block for him, and that was just clogged up nicely there by the Titan defense. I mean, give credit where it's due.
Well, that's right. It was not Michael's got to go somewhere else. That ball was tipped.
Intended for Kelly Rogers. The ball was off the mark, and now the Bruins, after the turnover, are 3 downs and out. 9:25 remains here in the first half. 7-0. If you joined us late, the Bruins going head-to-head with the Titans until a tipped pass fell into the hands of John McSwain, and he raced 81 yards for the only score here in the first half. Kevin Melvin gets the snap, kicks the ball. It's high, not particularly long. Fair catch is called for by Staten this time, and it's fielded at the 41-yard line, and that's where Lake Taylor will again have good field position. These Bruins, have to remember that they are a very potent team, and those watching the Bruins have to remember the same thing. They average, in the last 4 games, have averaged close to 40 points a game. So they have to understand that, yes, they're having a slow start here against a very good Lake Taylor team. But as you said, keep their head about them. Still got a lot of time here in the second quarter. Quarterback is Skip Wright. And he still has the football, and Xavier Gunn has him after a short gain. That was.
Well, I tell you, Big Barry Hargrave had a hold of his foot at the beginning, and he wasn't going. It's hard to pull somebody at 6'7".
So a short gain. We'll watch the replay here. You're going to see exactly what Bob just mentioned. Hargrave's 99, the defensive end there, has him and slows him down, and then Gunn finishes him off for a gain of about a yard. Second down, and let's call it 9 for the Titans. Wright faking and still has the ball. Throws intended on the far sideline for D'Angelo Hodges, and the ball off the mark.
But Tim, I do want to talk about the Bethel Bruin coaching staff. We got some fine coaches for the Bruins, and I've got some other stuff about the Bruins I do want to talk about. But Coach Kozlowski's got some great help in Raja Bouchard, Creighton Incremenus Jr., Creighton Incremenus Sr., Larry Eastep, D-Rock Kroom, Neil Truckstole, Victor Morgan, and McGill Incremenus. So we've got a lot of brain trust there for the Bruins.
Third down and long for the Titans.
Oh, and Jason Wallace also.
Right as it kicked off. Oh, almost picked off. Hands and out of the hands of 33, Brandon Chenault, and that was 6 points if he could have held on. So the Bruins getting good pressure that time on Skip Wright. Wright did not throw the ball a lot during the regular season. This is probably as many times as he would ever throw in a game. Coming into this game, in 10 games, he only threw 62 passes.
Watch this replay. Nice pressure.
Oh, and Chenault just saw 6 points before he hauled that one in. So you'll see another short drop here by the punter. Gets it away, almost blocked. And this one goes out of bounds. They will kick it away from Allen Iverson, and they'll line it up, and the Bruins will start from their 32-yard line.
Tim, when I got a chance here, I want to talk about some of the Bruins that graduated from Bethel in '92. Tim Johnson is at Wake Forest. Kelly Gardner is Hampton University. Joseph Manley is at Hampton University. Marlon Anderson is VMI. Brian Bean is at Virginia State. Andre Hargrave is in the Army. Reggie Ponton is at North Carolina A&T, and I will finish up with those as we get a chance.
Nothing happening for the Bruins as Michael Jackson is stopped for a loss.
I think what Bethel's got to do is have quicker hitters rather than deeper in the back, but that's Kaz will make some adjustments. To go on with, Leslie Smith is at Bridgewater College. Kareem Woods is at Firm as we watch the replay. D.R. Coffey is at Longwood. David Coombs is at CNC. Rodney Epperly is at Newport News Apprentice School. Steve Grimsley is Virginia State. Calvin Williams is at Anthony Bible College. And Dustin Southcombe is at May Menchville Construction.
We had a penalty, Bob, while you and I were going over that list, or you were, a penalty, a 15-yarder was called against the Titans. So the Bruins, the recipients of a little gift here, out to their 44-yard line, a first down. And now
we may have some movement on the Bruins. Tim, since Kozlowski took over head coach job in 74, he's totaled up the amount of dollar scholarships that have been given to his football players. Over, careful, Tim, over $3 million. I don't mean to knock you down, but over $3 million in football scholarships.
Dead ball penalty, snap infraction, gets the offense, the feet first.
That's quite an accomplishment for this Bruin coaching staff.
Well, you know, the Bruins have had a very successful athletic program all the way across the board. We'll get to that in just a second here. A 5-yard penalty assessed against the Bruins for illegal procedure. This is Jackson getting the call again, and maybe a yard on the play. But, you know, Bethel has had very successful programs not only on the football field, but in other areas. Certainly their baseball team has enjoyed great success, and other teams as well. Now, the Bruins are going to call a timeout.
Well, it's second, and it's long, and Kaz just wants to make sure they understand what it is he wants them to do. Let's don't make any mistakes. He's talking with the offensive, the back and receivers, and you look over to the right, and you'll see Incremina Sr. talking to the lineman.
Being emphatic, I might add.
You look at that guy. He walk up to you, you wouldn't listen. You wouldn't have to be emphatic with me, but he's making his point.
Well, you know, the Bruins are probably a little frustrated right now because they've gone to Michael Jackson on several occasions, and Jackson has been very well stopped by the Lake Taylor Titans. Allen Iverson has had, you know, reasonable success passing the ball so far.
Tim, one of the reasons probably that the Bruins are having a little problem with the offensive controlling that offensive line of scrimmage is when you want to get underneath your opponent. Well, as big as the Bruins are, they can't get underneath. They're standing up straight, and they're not getting the power off the ball they should be.
Second down and about 14. Iverson back to pass, has time, throws, got Kelly Rogers open. Rogers will be considered to be inbounds. A very gracious call, I might add.
Well, all he has to have is 1 foot in, so.
And that's all he had.
Yes.
So Kelly Rogers with a nice grab of the Iverson pass at the 39-yard line. That'll be Iverson's 4th completion in 10 attempts.
Well,
Here's the replay.
That was a kind of a flood in the zone that there was a deep man that cleared out the area just as Kelly came in. Kelly's pointing where my foot was. He knew he was in bounds.
First down and 10 for the Bruins. This is Jackson, and a little bigger hole this time. That pass will loosen up the defense a bit.
And it was a quick hitter. And that's what I'm talking about, because Jackson can get to the line of scrimmage real quick. He's not any slouch. He's got decent yards running the ball this year.
Almost 90 yards per game.
That's good in anybody's book.
Yeah, his best game was a 223-yard attempt against Ferguson back on the 10th of October. He had a career on one night. This is Jackson again. Jackson finds some running room and a first down. They're certainly close to it. Little extra action at the end of that play. Let's see where they mark the ball exactly. Richard Rawls and his crew are going to look it over. It's close enough for them to measure.
They're going to measure.
Here's your replay. You're going to see that same action again. Jackson with the quick handoff. And Jackson would appear to have first down territory there. And he is picked up and body slammed. And certainly a penalty could have been called on that. That was unnecessary. I don't know that he even got a great spot, but it looks like it'll be just enough for the first down.
Well, he got a good enough spot.
By the nose of the football.
And I didn't put you on the spot, you know.
I can't tell you from up here. I just don't feel comfortable. 30-yard line. That's right. I don't have the home field advantage that I have with our...
Well, you see, you talk to Larry Malloy, and you know where the lines are, and he helped you out.
Yeah, no question about it. This is Jackson trying to get inside. He does. He picks up about 4 yards down to the 25-yard line. So the Bruins now, with 6:25 remaining in the first half, have a drive going of their own. And boy, I tell you, go back in time, if that Brandon Chenault had ended up with a pickoff, we'd be looking at a 7-7 game right now. Here's your replay. You're going to see Jackson again. Good blocking by his teammates. Jackson, who is no slouch in the speed department, picked up a good 5, maybe 6 yards on the play. This is the flip to Jackson, and Jackson gets maybe a yard on the play.
Well, Kaz is running to the short side of the field, and this Lake Taylor Titan are very quick to the ball defensively. As you called them earlier, you call them the swarming bees. They may be down in 4-down territory here. I don't look for the Bruins to be kicking the ball down here.
3rd down and a long 3. Jackson has a good hole. He will be close to the first down. It looks like he will be short of the first down, however. Maybe by half a yard or so, and you've got a real good point, Bob, that this would appear to be 4-down territory if, in fact, he didn't get it.
Well, that was a nose guard. Excuse me, Tim. That was a nose guard, Wendell Hextall, that made the stop that time. He's just 5'10", 170, but he got a hold of Michael Jackson's leg, and I just stopped it. But they're good yards short.
Well, maybe a foot.
No,
actually.
I'm sorry. That's
length of the ball. So it's not too bad. It's certainly makeable, and the Bruin crowd on this side says go for it.
And I tell you what, in this case, you got to go with the quarterback keeper straight ahead to wedge him out.
A mishandling of the snap, but Allen Iverson was able to get the first down on a good second effort.
He was, because he had to bend down and pick the ball up, dropped the ball, picked it up, still picked up the first down.
Here's your replay. See how the ball is fumbled, and Iverson very alertly picks it up and then just nudges forward for the first down. So a first down for the Bruins at the 18-yard line. Oregon got movement, and we'll wait and see if the...
That's the 5 yards against the defense if they were not drawn off.
So a 5-yard penalty, exactly the call.
Dead ball, encroachment, gets the defense, first down.
That puts the ball wide, Tim. I can't see the spot.
Ball now is at the 12-yard line. First down and 5. Jackson. A loss on the play to about the 13. .445 remaining in the first half. Bruins have 2 timeouts remaining. Lake Taylor has 3. Here's your replay. You'll see Jackson tripped up at the line of scrimmage. In fact, may have lost a yard. Now we have officials stoppage of play and a timeout called by Lake Taylor.
Each one of the 2 coaches have used one of their timeouts for the during this first half. You have some little things there about Santa Claus.
Yeah, it does seem a little early to be talking about it, but I guess not, as Thanksgiving's coming up next week. It's Santa's Little Shop. This is going to be at Kickingham High School in Route E1 from the 2nd of December until the 8th of December. Crafts and gifts galore, operated by the Marketing Education Department. Now, the shop hours will be 8 to 6:30 on Wednesday, the 2nd of December. 8 to 3 on both the 3rd and the 4th of December. On the 7th of December, a Monday, 8 to 3, and then finally on December the 8th, a Tuesday, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. That's Santa's Little Shop at Kickinton High School. Take the time to go over to room E1 and patronize these young folks. They've getting their education in marketing and so forth. So right there and find a nice gift for someone you love.
Oh, might be able to find your gift there, Tim.
Yeah, maybe some powder for my forehead.
You read me like a book.
Second down at about 5. The pitch to Jackson. Jackson tries to cut it inside and does not get much. Well, I'll tell you, this pursuit of Lake Taylor is just superb. They are so quick off the ball.
Well, he picked up maybe inches. The down marker moved very, very little. You're still in 4-down territory, or even to the point where you could kick a field goal, but I know Bethel would love to get the first down right here.
All right, we're getting the clock restarted here. There was a momentary confusion. Third down, and let's call it 5. Iverson, second man through. No, he's still got the football, looking for a receiver. He's got Kelly Rogers. Touchdown!
Oh, nice pass from Allen to Kelly. Whoa, beautiful. Tim, that was a bullet right on the money.
That is the pass we saw against Hampton. When Kelly Rogers goes into the end zone, he did a great job of getting himself open.
Well, Allen got good protection that time. He had one man to give him a little bit of pressure at the beginning of that rollout, but after that, nothing. Now we're going for the extra point.
Wilton Evans out of Allen Iverson's hold. The ball is blocked. The extra point is no good. So it remains a 1-point lead for the Lake Taylor Titans, but the Bruins have been able to get back in the ballgame now. A 14-yard touchdown pass to Kelly Rogers. The drive was 68 yards and 12 plays. It took 3:55. The Lake Taylor Titans, regardless of any questions you might have about their competition, they only gave up 12 points to one team. That's the most points they gave up all year long to any one team. So they are a tough defensive squad, and the Bruins have had their hands full here in the first half.
Brandon Chenault on it to stop.
Derek Day returning the kick for the Titans. There you see Day slow to get up. And he is in pain and some problem here with his right leg or right ankle. We're very sorry to see that happen. Derek Day.
Well, he plays linebacker on defense and, of course, runs back and then is an end on their offense.
Yeah, he's a very intricate part of this team.
Watch the replay on this. And Brandon Chenault does a great job. There's a great hit. We just missed it right there. Brandon Chenault is the one that's the original hit, and then there was a couple other Bruins that come in on him. As you can see, the Bethel trainer out there, that's Frank Brown, along with the Lake Taylor trainer, I'm sure, they're looking at that ankle.
There you see Coach Kozlowski that Derek Day was helped off the field, so it does not look very promising for that young man to return here. Hopefully he will, but for the time being, he has been taken out of the lineup, and that could be a big loss as he is a two-way starter for these Titans.
Whoa!
Big gainer for D'Angelo Hodges. All the way across midfield down to the Bethel 48-yard line.
Well, they threw a double wideout on the left side that time and then hit him on a looked like a quick trap.
Here's your
and that's
replay.
exactly what it was, a quick trap right up off the right side. Nice saving tackle by one of the Bruins. I didn't get the tackler that time.
Hodges with 836 yards during the regular season shows why he is one of the premier runners in the Eastern District. The pitch and fumbled by Hodges. He'll pick it up, but that'll be a loss as Brandon Chenault is there to cover him for about a 7-yard loss. Play is all the way back to the Titan 45-yard line. 3:10 remaining here in the first half. 7-6 in favor of the Titans. Here's your replay. You're going to see the fake and then the pitch, and Hodges just couldn't get the handle on it.
And it's a good thing he picked it up because young Mr. Xavier Gunn was on his way.
And Hodges barely a yard, if that, on a 3rd down and long.
Big Perry Hargrave, one of the players, the left side of that defensive line for the Bruins, did a great job that time, Tim.
You know, I think something you got to talk about, Bob, is that what's going to happen here later on in this game. Now, granted, these players are as in good a condition as they're going to be as we got a Lake Taylor timeout and give us a chance to explore this. You're playing against a much bigger Bethel team. Your energy level has to sap later on in the 3rd quarter and 4th quarter when you're playing against a man who's 30 and 40 pounds bigger than you are across the line from you.
Oh, it's definitely that could very well happen. And Tim, also, if you play with too much emotion at the beginning of the game and too much adrenaline is flowing, you burn up a lot of energy early in the game. And then playing somebody that's, like you said, 30, 40, sometimes 50 pounds heavier than you, it will take its toll towards the end of the game. That definitely favors the Bruins in that case. So we'll have to see what goes on, but that's a valid point.
An argument can be made the other way, obviously, that the smaller player is going to have better stamina. He's going to tire less easily than, let's say, a big guy who's 6'7" and 250, 260, but I just don't think that's the case. I think the advantage is to the bigger, heavier, and equally quick Bethel defense. 3rd down and long now. 3rd down and let's call it 16 for the Titans.
Well, you would think an offensive play this time would be the pass, but don't discount a draw play or even a screen.
It is a quick look-in pass, and I believe it is ruled a completion.
But that's
42.
And that was a nice pass by young Mr. Skip Wright, who is just a junior himself. He's 5'10", 160. But that brings up a 4th down. Let's see what they do. That's 2 minutes and counting to go in the first half.
I think this is 4-down territory for Lake Taylor, obviously. They've got a good ground attack. It's 4 yards or 3 yards short of the first down. Let's see how the Bruin defense plays this. And they stack it up. They take over the ball on down.
Nice job by the Bruins. They held tough when you have to plug up the middle.
That was a quick count by Lake Taylor. They did not wait long once they got up to that line of scrimmage. They snapped the ball quickly. Watch it here. Just on the first count, Wright gives off right side to Hodges, and Hodges is tripped up. Looked like number 76 was in there for the
That's
Bruins.
Lamont Williams.
And Williams, who was our player of the game. 89. And Chris Gaskell, I'm told by Gary Moore, our statistician, I believe Gary mentioned that Chris Gaskell was also in on that stop. So on downs, the Bruins get the ball at their 40-yard line, looking to put some points on the board. Iverson, and he throws it away. They may call it. Got away with one there, I think.
Whoa.
That was a, you might hear the boos from Lake Taylor's side, and I don't know that they don't have a case there. Looked like Allen threw the ball away to avoid the sack. So, you know, if there was someone in the general area that was deemed to be an eligible receiver, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, if the ball would have been a little not down into the ground as quick, there was Kelly Rogers over on the sideline. But you're right. That could very well have been called potential grounding.
2nd down and 10 with 1:14 remaining. Bruins have 2 timeouts left, I believe. Throwing it for Gunn. Gunn's got the ball at the 30-yard line. Down to the 25-yard line. A first down.
Xavier Gunn just wanted that ball more than the defender because that ball was kind of up for grabs. What a great job Xavier Gunn did. Watch this replay, Tim.
There's confusion on the field by the Bruins. I don't think they have enough players on the field. Well, now Gunn is in motion. He's going to call a timeout. This is a costly timeout. The Bruins wasted about 15 seconds and then had to call the timeout to stop the clock because they didn't have the team on the field they needed. So Kaz will call him over to the sidelines and get things straightened out. This is a crucial play here.
Yeah, that was his second time out, so he only has one left.
But that's unfortunate for the Bruins because they could have called timeout when the clock was stopped to move the chains at 1:03. Now you see 47 seconds on the clock, so they used up 16 seconds and still had to call the timeout. So unfortunately a little confusion there, but that'll happen from time to time no matter what level you're playing.
You got that right. We see that happen in the pros all the time. In fact, there was an article about the Saints had 2 timeouts left, didn't use them, and only run two plays towards the end of the ball game that they had a chance to win. So, these are just high school players here. So, hats off to them. They play so well, and I'm just so impressed with what Xavier Gunn is doing tonight. Not only defensively, but to want that ball so bad that he just out-jumped and out-hustled and out-fought the defender that time.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 27 of Lake Taylor. 47 seconds remaining in the half. The Bruins trailing by 7-6. Iverson has time now, looks, rolls, and he will duck out of bounds. Got a face mask.
And here it comes. It comes in from the back official, but there was a face mask on the play.
And that could be a very costly penalty against Lake Taylor.
I don't know where the spot is, Tim. If it looks like it'd be about half the distance from there, perhaps.
Spot is at the 21-yard line. Get a chance to see this again. You're going to see Iverson looking, had time, then rolls, and as he goes out of bounds.
Face mask, it's the defense grabbing the opening of the helmet. First down.
There you saw the big face mask call.
And that puts the ball at the 10-yard line.
So it's right at about the 10 and a half. It'll be a first down, and the Bruins will not have a first and goal. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 11. Iverson wants to pass. Nobody is open. He can run so well to his left, but boy, I tell you, this Lake Taylor team just does not allow you to turn the corner.
Now they are very quick. They come up real quick. They've worked all week long on watching the quarterback, and if he starts to run, to close in on him to take away any lanes and make him run out of bounds. Here we watch the replay. But Tim, basically what they're doing is they're using the sideline as another defender, running him to that. Just don't let him get around. Run him outside.
Gain of 2 yards on the play. The ball is now at the 8-yard line, certainly within distance of Wilton Evans' field goal efforts if need be. But still plenty of time, 24 seconds and 1 timeout remaining for the Bruins. And now we've got a delay of game. Oh, that's a call that just drives a coach crazy. Too much time against the Bruins, so instead of on the 8 and 2nd down, now it's on the 13.
The Bruins ought to be over the ball, ready to go.
Delay game against the offense, repeat 2nd down.
So they're still within the field goal range here with 24 seconds remaining. Of course, the Bruins would like very much to put 6 on the board. Iverson fakes, looks in the end zone, in a crowd. Rogers, touchdown!
Oh, what a catch by Kelly Rogers.
Whoa, Rogers.
You can see the crowd on his side. Whoa.
A 13-yard touchdown pass.
And Tim, watch for the 2-point conversion here. Bruins will go for the 2.
Having missed the single extra point. And again, some confusion in the backfield here, trying to get the right players on the field for the 2-point conversion. Now Matt Harris comes out late, and I see Matt Harris in there.
That 49 is Bobby Sims.
And 32 is Matt Harris. It's the fake to Harris. Iverson looking, throwing. He's got Chris Gaskell. Gaskell tripped up in the end zone, but they say he fell on his own. I do not see a flag. And so the extra point will be no good, but the Bruins will, in fact, take the lead 12-7. Here's a replay of the touchdown. Going to see the fake as Rogers comes across the middle, then just deep in the end zone. Rogers leaps over two defenders, gets both feet in, and has control as he crosses the end zone.
The desire to want the ball so bad will make you do things that you normally won't do. You jump that little, maybe it's a quarter of an inch or half an inch higher, but you just want it, and you go take it. Xavier Gunn and Kelly Rogers, two fine catches on two nice throws by Allen Iverson. I don't want to diminish his role in this thing, but woo!
So the Bruins, after spotting the Lake Taylor Titans a 7-0 lead on the tipped pass that was caught for an 81-yard touchdown, have come back with two of their own.
And guess who gets the ball at the beginning of the second half?
That's right, the Bruins with the momentum certainly as we go into halftime, and they'll get the ball to start the second half. Of course, Lake Taylor is going to try and run this one back if they can. Hodges has to go all the way back to his 4-yard line to field the ball. These are the plays that sometimes hurt you in the long run because you get off balance, and Hodges all the way out to the 40-yard line.
And we got 3 seconds to go, so they got a chance to get off maybe one play, but you're right. What happens on a play like that is that the pursuing kicking team will overrun their assignments, and it will break it open real quick. Watch this this kick return, fumbled by number 7, D'Angelo Hodges, but then does a great job right here of watching his blockers and cutting off their blocks. Right there, DeVan Hill. And who was the one? I can't see. It looked like Xavier Gunn. Was that 11?
Yeah, it looked like it was number 11. So the timeout with 3 seconds remaining in the first half. Lake Taylor certainly will entertain the idea of throwing up a Hail Mary. They'll be throwing with the wind going from their, as they look downfield, going across the field, not into their faces or behind their backs. And it's a fairly consistent breeze tonight, so that makes it more easily judged when you're throwing the ball. It's the gusting evenings that you have the hardest time.
You got that right.
12-7.
You can make adjustments on a steady wind. It's the gusting wind that you have no control over.
Favor of the Bruins, probably the last play of the first half. Lake Taylor at their 40-yard line.
And I thought they may run the ball rather than pass it.
And they do, so...
big Chris Gaskell, big Barry Hargrave and Robinson in on the stop. Nice, fine first half, Tim.
So 24 minutes have elapsed here at Chittum Field here for the Eastern Regional Semifinals of Group AAA Division 5. And there's your score at halftime. The Bethel Bruins 12, Lake Taylor 7 will return with third quarter action after a brief timeout.
Your informational source of the Hampton City School System, WHCS Cable TV 5.
Back here at halftime, the statistics from the first half, a couple of minutes away from the start of the second half. First downs find the Bruins leading 12-2 over Lake Taylor. Third down efficiency, the Bruins with 40% efficiency, 20 for the Titans. Total net yards, Bethel 169, 134 for Lake Taylor. Bob, you and I were talking about this. The passing, 109 for Bethel, 93 for Lake Taylor. You take away the 81-yard pass touchdown.
And that was a tip ball.
Tip ball. You're talking about 54 or 55 yards total offense without that play, and only 12 yards passing. 2 of 5 for Skip Wright, 7 of 14 for Allen Iverson. Those 2 turnovers, though, on the interception, a big one. One of those led to the touchdown by Lake Taylor. And 1 interception for the Bruins. That one was made by the same young man that tipped the ball that ultimately ended up at the touchdown, Alfred Terrell. Individual statistics find Allen Iverson with 6 carries for 34 yards. And Michael Jackson, 13 carries, a busy first half for Michael, and he had a total net of 26 yards. Good job by Lake Taylor to shut him down pretty effectively. A total of 60 yards on the ground for the Bruins. Iverson, 7 of 14, 109 yards in the air. As long as it was the 32-yard pass completion to Xavier Gunn, which led to that touchdown. After that play, they kept the drive going and ultimately scored 2 touchdown passes to Kelly Rogers in the second quarter. Both extra point tries, no good. One a blocked kick by Wilton Evans, and the other was the attempt for 2, and it was an incomplete pass in the end zone where it appeared Chris Gaskell may have been tripped up in the end zone. Receiving, Rogers 3 catches for 48 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kirk had 2 catches for 12 yards. Simmons 1 catch for 17 and Gunn 1 for 32. Terrell had the interception for the Bruins, and Elliott had 2 for the Lake Taylor Titans. The only receiving was McSwain. He had both of those catches, 1 for 81, the other for 12 yards in the first half. Wright 2 of 5 for 93 with 1 interception and 1 touchdown. Hodges was their leading rusher with 34 yards on 7 attempts. Wright carried twice for 7. McSwain and Staten, both of them shut down completely in the first half, and Staten is a big statistic. Now, the Bruin defense has done a great job in the first half against this running attack, this very potent running attack of Lake Taylor. They allowed Staten no yardage, and Hodges 34, and he got 20 of those on that 1 carry in the second quarter.
And which was a nice trap that they played after they run in a double wide out both to the one side, trying to spread the defense out a little bit, and I'm sure that's the reason that the coach is doing that. But what you'll probably find is if Bruins can control this ball, they get the ball at the opening this second half, and they could put a lot of pressure on the Lake Taylor Titans and make them do things offensively, Tim, that they don't want to do. So let's see what happens at this during the second half.
The Bruins will have the ball to start the second half, as they deferred in the first half, and will receive the kickoff. The Bethel Bruins, 12-7 over Lake Taylor here at halftime. Kayla. That's your granddaughter.
By Sweetie Pickle.
Also playing this evening from the Peninsula District, the Hampton Crabbers taking on Norcom. And we're told that in the second half they're trailing 10-0 in that game.
Try 16-0.
16-0. And then Denby, I understand, is ahead in their game against Great Bridge, I believe it is.
16-13, I think.
At any rate, this ball taken by Evans. Evans fielded it on the ground, so the Bruins get a bit of a break there. He could have been ruled to be down, although he did not seem to have control.
Didn't have control of it with his knee down, but see, they don't think about that. You think, I got to get the ball, which he did, but great field position for the Bruins to start this second half as Allen takes his offensive group out there.
Watch this, as you see down on one knee. He was on one knee when he picked that ball up, so the Bruins got a break there. They'll mark it at the 43-yard line. They're 43, 1st and 10, leading 12-7. Second quarter just getting underway.
We'll see what kind of adjustments that have been made.
This is Chris Gaskell, a great big wide receiver, tight end for the Bruins. 89 is a big 6'5", 255, and Chris just is too massive for that defender to stop.
And that was little number young man that got hurt earlier, that was Data, got John McSwain. He's 5'8", 160, Tim.
Here's
so
the replay.
He gives up a little bit of yardage. He just says, let me grab a hold of him and wrap my legs around his legs.
At the 40 of Lake Taylor, Iverson again to pass, throws it behind Kirk, and boy, that was a bad pass. That one gets picked off. You're looking at 6 more. The intended receiver was Kirk, and it was almost picked off by Diego Ryland.
Well, I think it was a miscommunication. I don't think that Kirk run the route that Allen thought he would. You're right, that could have been a big play. But the Bruins come out saying, okay, we're going to pass this ball. And then as soon as they say that, they try to run it.
That's Charles Shepard who gets the call, number 24. First time he's carried the ball in the ball game for the Bruins. Shepard came on with some late season action, ended up with 185 yards on 40 carries during the regular season.
Well, he's about the size of those defensive backs. He's 5'5", 153. So that's what the defensive backs on Lake Taylor, they'd love to see that kind of size coming at them.
And this is Shepard again, and Shepard will just get back to the line of scrimmage at best. Richard Rawls, in the exuberance being displayed by one of the Lake Taylor players, caught a right to the chin as the Lake Taylor player was hoisting his hand in the air and almost knocked out our referee.
Well, that brings up a 4th and 9 for 10.
So the Bruins got 1 first on the pass completion to Gaskell, and then were unable to move the ball any further. Kevin Melvin will be standing back near the 50-yard line when he kicks this. A long count, and he'll kick the ball away. It's a good high kick. Fair catch called for and taken by the Lake Taylor Titans. Boy, that's one of those times when you might have let that ball try and roll in the end zone.
Yes.
Fair catch at the 3. I think he lost track of where he was. So the Bruins will back up Lake Taylor all the way down to their 3-yard line, where they'll start 1st and 10.
Well, things like this will really fire up a defense. Watch this kick.
And this was a great kick. Watch as Kevin Melvin gets it away right at midfield, kicks it high and deep, and forced Jim Staten to make the fair catch. He should have just let that ball go at this point. He's got Brandon Chenault in his face to begin with. The worst you're going to do is give it up at the 2. So Lake Taylor now deep in their own territory will have to dig themselves out of a big hole here. And of course the Bruins would like very much to put them further in that hole.
Well, that was big number 70, Tim, for the Bruins. It made a beautiful tackle. That's Steve Lamont, who was a guard, 240, 6-foot senior.
I think that's Lambert, Bob.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
Steve Lambert. You said Lamont, but it's
Lambert. You're right. I can't read my own writing. That's normal.
But a loss on the play back to the 2-yard line. So it's 2nd down, and let's call it 12 for the Lake Taylor Titans, literally in the shadow of their own goalpost. The Bruins, and they stack up the ball carrier right at the goal line. Now his forward progress.
And that was number 58, Robinson, who just plugged that hole up and was right in there. And I tell you, him and Big Barry Hargrave, watch this, Tim. 58, if we have it on replay, did a great job.
The Bruins thought they had a safety.
No, because he stops him right there. Boom!
Well, I mean, he stopped him cold.
And then when Barry Hargrave got a hold of him, the big as Barry is, you're not going anywhere.
It's 3rd down, and they're literally on their own goal line is Lake Taylor. 3rd down and about 13. Bruin defense is digging in. And right on the quarterback keeper, and all he got was maybe a foot or so. It'll be 4th down, and a huge punt coming up now for the Titans.
Well, if you're Bethel, you got to think, okay, we're going to do a run back. He's got to punt it. He's got to stand close to the end of the end zone. You don't want to get it roughing the kick here because that would give them a 1st down, but the punter cannot step out of the back of the end zone either, which would be a safety.
Not much pressure put on by the Bruins. They will allow Allen Iverson to try and return this ball. He receives it at the 40-yard line. A good job by the downfield team of Lake Taylor as they stopped Iverson cold. So an excellent job by Lake Taylor in a very precarious situation.
Really. But it was all set up because of the fine punt by the Bruins. Watch this punt by the Lake Taylor Titans.
See, the Bruins don't really put much pressure on it at all. They're setting up a return. And to the credit of Lake Taylor, first of all, they got a good kick away. And then Allen was just never really able to get on track. Good downfield tackle by number 64. Let's give him credit, Derek Person. But now the Bruins with great field position at the 30-yard line. Iverson wants to throws long. It's for Rogers, and Rogers has to play defense. He did a good job to come back on
he did that because he became the defender that time. You're right. Good call.
Trail Washington was the defender on the play. He became the better opportunity to catch the ball. But then Rogers realizing that, and you know, Tony Anthony from the Daily Press, who watched the replay, was talking to us at halftime, and he made a good point. Gunn and Kelly Rogers both in the first half did good jobs of coming back to the ball when it was underthrown. So a good smart receiver not only has good hands, he's got a good head as well. Second down and 10. On the delayed handoff, this is Charles Shepard, and Shepard picks up yardage down across the 25 to about the 24-yard line.
Now that looked like number 55 for the Lake Taylor Titans that made the stop that time. That's one of the linebackers, Anderson. 6'1", 200, one of the very few players that's at least 200 pounds on this Lake Taylor team. That's a 3rd and 5.
Here's your replay, and there you saw Shepard with a good head of steam.
Well, and the number 4 is also in on the tackle for the Titans. That's Derek Day.
Back to the live action. This is Shepard. Shepard, a second effort will bring him short of the first down.
Well, now are you in 4-down territory? Absolutely.
As well as the Bruin defense has played at this point in the game, there's no reason for them not to go. Worst thing is you give the ball up at the Titan 20.
And if you punt it and it goes in the end zone, it comes back to the 20.
Two wide receivers to the near side. Demerick Kirk in one slot along with Dwayne Franks. Long count by Iverson. Iverson will keep it on the quarterback keeper. And we'll wait and see where they mark the ball. It will be very close to a first down. I believe he has it, but the mark will determine that.
Well, that was a gutsy call. A very gutsy call by Coach Kaz.
And it is a first down.
Because that's not what you would have expected. A quarterback keeper from 2 yards out. Nice call and a great job by the offensive line to get a great surge. Watch them, Tim, as they come off the ball, and they stayed low that time. See how low they stayed? That's why they beat them off the line of scrimmage. Can we go back to,
whoa! Back to the live action. The ball comes loose. The ball has been taken by the Lake Taylor Titans, and they've got it down at the 50-yard line. I did not see what happened, Bob. I was watching the replay, but it appeared a fumble occurred.
Well, there was a great hit in the backfield on number 24 for the Bruins, and that's Charles Shepard. He got clotheslined, and the ball was stripped. And Lake Taylor comes out with great field position after letting the Bethel Bruins get down there within field goal kicking range anyway.
So now Bethel has to go back on defense. Just shy of midfield, the Titans will go first down. Pitch goes to Hodges. Hodges for maybe 3 yards to the Bruin 47.
Xavier Gunn, Jonathan Dean, and Robertson over there on the stop that time for the Bruins. Robertson, number 58, has done a great job. He's 5'11", 180 senior.
Gain of about 3 on the play for Lake Taylor. Second down and 7 for the Titans. 4:20 remaining here in the third quarter. It remains a 12-7 game in favor of Bethel. The ball carrier again is number 7, D'Angelo Hodges. And a Lake Taylor Titan shaken up on the play. He appears to be all right. However, we're happy to say that's Wendell Hextall.
Well, that was a generous spot. He was stopped on the other side of the line. His knee went down. He got up and ran, and the official on his side gave him a real good spot, gave him an extra yard.
Third down and a short 5 for Lake Taylor. And a first down. Hodges gets the first down across the 40-yard line. First down in Bethel territory at the 38. Hodges. And Hodges keeps on running. You've got to bring him down, and you've got to bring him down with more than one man most of the time. He has very strong leg strength.
Well, Tim, what's happening is he's getting behind the defenders, and nobody's getting a hold of him, and he's as small as he is. Nobody is grabbing him, and he's getting away. They're going to have to grab. He knocked the feet out from under these runners, and that's a great job by McSwain. Number 5, is that who it is?
No, that was number 7.
7, I'm sorry.
Hodges.
D'Angelo.
2:45 remaining in the third. Bruins clinging to a 5-point lead. Hits, and the ball is loose. Brandon Chenault covers the young man who recovered the football.
Oh, boy, is he lucky he got a hold of that football.
John McSwain, who was the intended recipient of the toss. But yes, Brandon Chenault and McSwain raced for the ball. McSwain got there first. But that was a huge loss on the play. Instead of second and less than a yard, now it's third down and close to 20.
And that was just a bad pitch by the quarterback.
That's the second time that's happened. And we've got early motion by Lake Taylor, so it's starting to become a little unraveled as the left guard raised up from the three-point stance well before the snap.
They maybe are trying to go on a quick count, but everybody's got to go at the same time. Y'all got to be on the same page, as Coach Kyle says.
So mark off 5.
Foul. Illegal procedure. Repeat third.
You heard Richard Rawls, our referee. There you see the score, 12-7 with 1:54. The clock is restarted. And the Lake Taylor Titans now with a third down and 27. Right looking, rolling, and he is grabbed. Is it going to be a flag? Yeah. That'll be intentional grounding if it's the call I think it is.
It's got to be intentional grounding. You'll also lose the down, so you get penalized plus you lose the down.
Yep, that's what it is. Intentional grounding of the ball. Here's the replay. There you saw it clearly in the grasp of the tackler, and Wright just tried to throw the ball away.
Intentional grounding, it's the offense, loss of down, fourth down.
So it's fourth down, and the penalty all the way back now to the 31-yard line. They've got to go to the Bethel 28-yard line for a first down. So my math doesn't
That's
even...
only about 40 yards.
Every bit of that. And it's deep punt formation. The Bruins almost blocked it. Lamont Williams almost got in there. This is Allen Iverson. He's been pretty well contained and is again contained, but close to midfield where the Bruins will have good field position.
We have an injured player on the field for the Titans. Looks like it's number 60. 68, our director thinks it is, and that would be Carl Dumas. 210, who's one of the bigger young men out there for the Titans. Tim, they have the ball on their 50 at the 50-yard line and pick up a first down, have a 2nd and 1, and then all of a sudden you're 4th and 40. Whoa, great job by the Bethel defense.
Here's the almost block by Williams just got the punt away. And then Allen Iverson fielded at the 38. Bobs and weaves his way along the sidelines as he so oftentimes does. When I saw the trainers rushing out to the field, I had an initial thought it was Iverson that might have been hit out of bounds. But then the trainers from Bethel ran out on the field to attend to the Lake Taylor play.
Yeah. Well, and Allen was still standing up after the whistle was blown. I mean, he's so elusive and he's hard to bring down anyway.
Why don't you, while we have this break, Bob, mention again about our player of the game that you want to do that?
I do want to do that. We will pick up a DC Engraving Sports Place player of the game from Bethel High tonight. The recipient will receive a plaque and a shirt. DC Engraving is located at Tab Square on Route 17. Dave Buckwalter's out there, and he gives us a plaque, and this is a sample of metal photo. The shirt comes from Dave Chubb, who is the proprietor at the sports place located in Hampton Woods Plaza. We appreciate these two young men for their efforts to help us recognize one of the players, and it's strictly a non-scientific way that we go about selecting a player of the game.
Well, we're happy to tell you that the Lake Taylor Titan is up and off the field, apparently shaken up, but that's all, and we certainly hope that is the case. At any rate, it is a first down now for the Bethel Bruins at their 49-yard line. Great field position with 1:16 remaining here in the third quarter. Score remaining 12-7 in favor of Bethel. This is Michael Jackson for maybe a yard. As again, that quick pursuit of the Lake Taylor Titans led by Wendell Hextall. He has been all over the field for Lake Taylor all night long. Number 56, Hextall.
And 65, Chris was also in on the tackle. He is the tackle on that same side.
Fumble. No indication yet. Lake Taylor says they've got it, but the referee says no. It remains in possession of the Bruins, I believe.
And that will give a coach gray hairs quicker than anything else. Sometimes the center pulls out too soon. Sometimes the quarterback comes out too soon. And it just, maybe sometimes the ball will hit one of your offensive people. You turn around to hand off and you hit a guard or something. So that's this is a big third down and 10 for the Bruins.
Keith Anders, 66, came up showing the ball, so unless otherwise we're told, we'll give him credit for the fumble recovery. Allen Iverson eludes one tackler, eludes another tackler, and then is shoved out of bounds at about the 45-yard line, and he is a little slow to get up. Allen is, for those of you who don't know him, he's not a very big individual. He's 6 foot, 160 pounds.
He's rangy. I mean, and Tim, I think he's taller than 6 foot. I think he's close to 6'1", and maybe a little more than that. But he's very deceptive in his speed and his strength.
Here's the replay. You'll see Iverson nothing open, and again avoids the sack. And then as he gets near the sidelines, Hextall gives him a healthy shove.
We've got a change of quarters here, Tim. That's the end of the.
So the third quarter has come to a conclusion, and this will give me an opportunity to remind the folks also about a very special program that's being put on here on Channel 5. There you see some of the younger crowd on hand here. Temperature in the upper 40s. Our crowd bundled up pretty well. But Channel 5 is offering a live homework television program on Tuesdays and Thursdays for middle and high school students needing help with math homework. The show is broadcast on Channel 5 from 7 to 8 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays right here on Channel 5. Fourth quarter set to get underway. Kevin Melvin, no pressure, gets the kick away. You may recall he had a great kick earlier, and this was in that same category. This one, very wisely this time, is allowed to go in the end zone by Jim Staten. I guarantee you he was told about that when he got back to the bench last time.
You think so?
Oh, I'll bet you. I'll bet you the Lake Taylor coach, Bert Harrell, gave him all he wanted to hear about. A large sigh just went up from the crowd as one of the local, the Hampton score was announced. I did not hear the score.
I didn't either.
Yeah, that's what we had heard too. Boy, would I love to see Hampton and Bethel team up again next week for the Eastern Region Championship at Darling Stadium. Of course, Bruins have got to win this game, and Hampton has to overcome what we understand is a 3-point deficit at Norcom in order for that to happen.
There's young Mr. Robinson again on to stop that time. I tell you, I'm so impressed, Tim, with the defense of the Bruins.
Well, you know,
last week they did such a good job, and in this tonight,
They did a superb job against a very fine Hampton team last week. And they just have not allowed Lake Taylor to get untracked except for that one play. That one play that could just as easily have been an incomplete pass.
Jonathan Dean on a stop that time. The tackle for the Bruins.
Xavier Gunn, by the way, is leading the tacklers so far for the Bruins, and certainly he has a good shot at our candidate for player of the game for Bethel.
As does Kelly Rogers and Alan Iverson
and the whole defensive team. Third down and 5 for the Bruins. 10:40 left in the third. This is Hodges, and Hodges gets the first down.
And that wasn't the Bruins that had the ball, that was the Titans.
Did I say Bruins?
Yeah, that's what I do. I get excited.
31-yard line, 32-yard line is where they mark it. So Hodges gets the first down for the Titans. And that'll only be the second first down, I believe, of the second half and the fourth of the game for Lake Taylor. Let me see if my man Gary here has that for me. First downs, Gary, do we...
Big 58 again.
I know you got it in there somewhere.
And that's Sean Robinson again on the stop that time, and we got a hurt Bruin on the field. It looks like 76 for the Bruins, and that's Lamont Williams, the guard who was our recipient of the Player of the Game award last week against the Crabbers. But I tell you, I'm so impressed with this linebacking job that the Xavier Gunn and Sean Robertson are doing.
Let's see if we can find out what happened. There you see, lying on the ground, bottom left-hand side of your screen, is Williams, and holding his leg, and the Bruins would ill afford to lose him with 10:03 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz were coming to you from Chittum Field over at Norview High School in Norfolk. And this is the Eastern Regional Semifinals of Group AAA Division 5. It's a mouthful, but what it all means is if the Bruins win this game, then they will take on the victor of the Hampton and Norcom game, and that game will be played next Friday?
Friday.
Saturday.
Yes, no, I think it's Friday.
Friday, I believe.
That's the day after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I mean, you and I will be stuffed.
That's right.
I mean, not like turkey, but
literally
full.
And of course, that game, should Bethel hold on and should Hampton come from behind, could be a matchup of the Bethel Bruins and the Hampton Crabbers, but that remains to be seen. My understanding is that should Bethel win and Norcom win, then that game will be at a site over in Norfolk, but we'll worry about that later on. Right now, second down and 12 for the Titans, trailing by 5 points. All they need is a touchdown to gain the lead. This pass is intercepted. Second interception of the ball game by Terrell, and he has got some room to run. He is driven out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
What a nice job, and it couldn't happen to a nicer young man, because I know he feels so bad about the tip ball and the only score that Lake Taylor got. But that ball was tipped by the offensive man, and he ended up being the recipient of it. Nice job.
Great concentration by Terrell. You'll see this again. Now Wright is going to go back and just a short drop, look for the ball. The ball was thrown behind McSwain, who caught the pass earlier against Terrell. Terrell this time says, no way, in your face, and he does a great job before he's finally dragged out of bounds by Hextall. And now...
And it looked like it was a
first pass. It's red. First down.
That's the second time on a turnover that there's been a face mask call against Lake Taylor. So the Bruins with great field position inside the 15-yard line. First down with 9:35 remaining. The Bruins need to run this one in. They need to wear some time off that clock. And they can salt this one away if they can do so. Bruin defense has been tough. This is Iverson. He is the offense. He looks. He fakes. What a move to get around all the way down inside the 5-yard line.
Whoa! What?
He just glided through the air almost. It looked like he was going to throw. Faked out Hextall, who was pursuing.
He knew he had him. He knew he had him.
But then he didn't. And believe me, this is not the first time this has happened. Here's your replay. Watch as Iverson takes the snap from center, and then on the play action, rolling again to his left as a right-handed quarterback, and then he tucks it down, and they just grab it for air right here. And then Iverson is driven out of bounds, ultimately by Hextall.
Well, and it's down. He's got a second and about a yard.
And this is Sims, the ball carrier. Bobby Sims, the converted defensive player, filling in for the injured Matt Harris. And Sims is down to about the 2-yard line, which would appear from here to be enough for a first down. Let's see if they'll need to measure.
We got another hurt player on the field, and it's and Tim, it looks like it's leg injuries and cramps and that sort of thing. And when you're playing against people that are 40, 50 pounds heavier than you, you're doing a lot of straining. Watch the replay here.
Plus, it's a rather cool and damp evening, which adds to that. This is Sims on the handoff, and the big Bobby Sims puts his head down. If he'd gotten down a little lower there, he might have gone in, but look at his great extra effort, and he's got that ball wrapped up securely. And it is a first down and goal for the Bruins.
I tell you, a touchdown here would really put the pressure on this Lake Taylor Titan team, because now they have to pass to catch up. They can't sustain a long drive with only 9 minutes to go in a ball game.
They haven't been able to all game long.
Well, good point.
Again, while we have a break here, let me finish my thought earlier, if I may, about this Homework 2000 that's currently being shown.
I'm taping that for you, by the way.
I needed it. There you see the injured player, but the Hampton City Schools is airing a live homework television program on Tuesdays and Thursdays for middle and high school students. It's broadcast between 7 and 8, and all you do is you call in. The numbers are on the screen for you to call. A live studio audience of students will assist various teachers with the math questions that will be called to the show. So 7 to 8, Tuesdays and Thursdays, right here on Channel 5. Back to the live action. Allen Iverson fumbled the snap.
But he fell on top of it.
They may have gotten us a second time in the second half.
That ball seemed to just pop right out of there.
The Bruins retain possession. Watch it from the end zone. See if you can see what happens here. There you see the loose ball,
and that would have been a touchdown. I mean, he had the people that were staying low.
This is Bobby Sims' touchdown.
Oh, wow. Nice job. And I know Bobby Sims is going to be so happy not to be on the depth chart. All of a sudden, Coach Bouchard has this premonition, says we need to get him ready for the fullback, and he did it. Made a big score. That makes it, what, 18?
18, yes, and with Evans trying to make it 19 here. High snap, kick is up, it's long enough, and it is good. So now a 12-point lead for the Bruins, and it's certainly looking a lot better now. You're going to see this replay of the touchdown
coming
from
right
the
at
end zone.
Coming right at you,
Look
Tim.
at this. Oh, look at that hole. I could have run through that.
Yeah, I believe you could have.
What a great job of blocking by the offensive line from the Bruins as they opened a hole. We understand that the game between Norcom and Hampton is a final, and that the Crabbers, with 2 chances inside the 5-yard line against Norcom, were unable to score, and the final on that game would be a victory for Norcom. So the matchup I and you had dreamed for will not happen.
Nope.
As the Bethel Bruins look ever so much better at their opportunity to advance the Hampton Crabbers, apparently, and it's unofficial right now.
Well, and we appreciate Bill D going over with A.G. Womble to do that ball game.
This one is not over with yet. A flag down in the area you might look for a clip. The ball was returned by number 1, Lynn Trail Washington, out close to the 30-yard line. And if this is, in fact, it is a clip against Lake Taylor, so that'll back them up 15 yards to their 15. Here's your replay. See if we can pick it up. We heard someone in the stands say they thought it was Chenault that might have been clipped.
Well,
Let's see if we can
Chenault gets blocked. I thought was a good block. Should be in the right corner of your picture.
Just red. First down.
No, we didn't see it, but there was definitely a clip there somewhere.
We can't see it in our picture, but you saw the return by Washington. At any rate, the clip occurred away from our camera shot. And with that in mind, now Lake Taylor actually will start from their 13-yard line, trailing by 12 with 8:08 left in the ballgame. A team that is not known for their pass would be in a situation that would appear they need to. A flag comes down, might see another face mask call. This one would probably go against the Bruins if that is our call.
Well, I tell you, I am impressed with the way number 7, D'Angelo Hodges, runs. He's 5'9", 180, Tim, just a junior. But boy, he keeps those feet and legs just a-moving, and it is against the Bruins. Watch this. Watch him keep just exploding.
First down.
Right there's the face mask. Inadvertent though it may be, it's a big penalty. And it's a first down for the Titans. More importantly, the clock stops for a while. Now it's restarted.
Ball is at the 32-yard line. First down for the Titans. And now a flag is thrown before the snap of the ball. So play is getting a little ragged here in the fourth quarter.
Well, and this is against the offense. It's encroachment. Tim, but you know you're behind. You got to have 2 scores. You're a little anxious. Maybe they're going on a quicker
encroachment, offense. Repeat first.
It may be that you were trying a little harder. You're doing things a little different than you normally would do them. You've been undefeated. You're really kind of stake bitten at this point. And you're trying to get something to go.
And the Titans have a confusion in the backfield. This is going to cost them yardage.
The confusion was Lamont Williams. Gee, buddy. He was back, almost took the handoff.
John McSwain was the ball carrier, and Lamont Williams almost got the handoff.
Tim, I hope we have that on replay. Watch this. Watch Lamont Williams. I want to hand the ball off. Boom! There's
He had both of them. He had both McSwain and Wright.
We didn't know which one to tackle. Great job.
It's the second down at about 18 now for the Titans. And the fumble picked up nicely by Hodges, but Hodges barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. I want to correct myself. Earlier I had said, that's not a major point, but I mentioned that 12 points I said earlier was the high on the season for Lake Taylor. They, in fact, allowed 14 points against Salem prior to this game. Of course, now with the Bruins with 19 points on the board, and certainly that is enough for them to win at this point should they be able to keep the defense playing as it has. We're looking at third down and long now. Third down and, I guesstimate about 18 or 19. On the delayed handoff, this is Hodges. And Hodges was great speed trying to get to the outside. He will not get the first down.
And too far to go to get the first down, but that was a good call. And with his strength and his speed, he could very well have broken it for the first down, but looks like he still has about 11 to go, Tim, and they've got to punt the ball.
Well, you would think they would have to, and they are slow to get the kicking team on, but yes, they are very as you see the tail end of that replay, they're relatively slow to get that kicking team on there at times, and it confuses the Bruins as to whether or not they're really going to kick it. This is a fine-looking kick, and this one is kicked away from and out of bounds from Allen Iverson inside the 30-yard line.
I'm impressed with the punter for this, Lake Taylor. He's not back as deep as normally, and that just he's got the 1 foot out in front of him instead of feet side by side, and does a good job. And who is that?
Well,
the punter?
I haven't been able to pick up his number all night long.
Well, it's supposed to be
Staten, we were told, but that's not who is kicking.
Well, and you were told because that's what Coach Bert Harrell told me.
He also lied to us about number 32.
Yes, he told me there's no 32 on the field. Well, somebody's running out there with number 32 on for Lake Taylor.
By the way, that shot you had of me a minute ago showed me sitting down. I'm old, Bob. My back gave out about a quarter ago. Bob's much younger than I am, even though he's older.
I don't quite understand that, but that was a nice run by Michael Jackson.
Here's a good look at Hargraves, who has played one whale of a ball game.
We got to be thinking about player of the game, Tim. So
Barry was our recipient, if I remember correctly. When didn't he win our player of the game last week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Last week was Lamont.
This is what is it?
A catch and then a fumble, I think. He dropped the ball after he caught it.
Kelly Rogers. By the way, I need to also correct us about something. My good friend Chuck Boney was over at the house the other night. We were looking at the Hampton-Bethel tape. He wanted to make us both aware of the fact that there is no such thing as a lateral pass in high school ball any longer.
Oh.
It is a backward pass or a forward pass, but it is no longer considered a lateral.
Well, that ball was caught and then was dropped.
Here's Iverson looking for some running room, and he would appear to have enough for a first down. Out close to the 40-yard line. Let's see exactly where they marked it.
That's on the 40. That is a first down.
And that's it. That'll be a first down with 4:16 remaining in the fourth quarter. Bethel leading 19-7.
Is that a new rule this year?
It's been several years ago since they've eliminated the use of the reference to a lateral. You do have what you and I used to call a lateral. Now it's called a backward pass. Well, it is a live ball.
And what I kept calling it a pass, it was right, didn't know I was.
That's right. This is Michael Jackson, and Jackson out close to another first down. So the Bruins asserting themselves as we thought they might with that superior size. Here in the fourth quarter, they have rattled off 2 consecutive first downs. And with 3:54 left in the ball game, they are in the catbird seat.
And I'm sure the Lake Taylor Titans, Tim, are really getting tired. And I'm getting ready to go down on the field, I think.
Yes, you better. This is Jackson for no gain, maybe a slight loss on the play. We do invite you to stay tuned. At the conclusion of the ball game, Bob will make his way down and will hopefully have an opportunity to talk to who's our player of the game, Big Bob. Certainly Allen Iverson is a strong candidate, among others. Kelly Rogers with 2 touchdown passes. Hargraves has played a very fine game as well. This is Michael Jackson. Jackson with a good move to get the outside, and Jackson is driven out of bounds after he picks up a first down. Jackson to the 29 of Lake Taylor. So the Bruins truly asserting themselves now. And they are about to wrap this one up and advance to next week's game against the Norcom Greyhounds. Here's your replay. Look at Jackson with a great move and a super block by his lead back, Bobby Sims, to open that hole up for him.
Well, Tim, I don't know if you can hear me or not. Good, I cannot hear you. I can hear me, but I can't hear you. But I'm going down to the field. Who are we going to pick for player of the game?
Let's give it to Allen Iverson. He certainly has deserved it with his efforts tonight.
Let's do 2. Let's do Allen Iverson and Xavier Gunn.
All right.
See if we can't get these people to get them too, okay?
I can work with that. All right. Bob's going to head off to the field. 2:33, the clock moving. That loss on the last play of about 4. Second down and about 14. Iverson hands off, and this is Bobby Sims picking up about 7 or 8 yards. Clock continues to move. Second down after the pickup of almost 3. Second down, and let's call it 7 for the Bruins.
Tim, I can't hear you at all, so I'm going to try to look at you since I can see you pretty good, and you let me know when I can talk, okay?
Inside of a minute to go. This is Sims again carrying the ball down close to the 5-yard line. So the Bruin defense has done the job again, second week in a row that they have come up big against a good team, this Lake Taylor team, undefeated coming into this game. And now an official's timeout as they will bring the chains across for the measurement. But Lake Taylor, of course, will suffer their first defeat of the season. And the Hampton Crabbers the previous week could only amass 10 points against this superior Bethel defense. And a measure for the first down. It is, in fact,
as you can see, Tim, by half of the length of the football, first down.
At this point, not much question about the outcome. 19-7 with 49 seconds remaining. The Bethel fans beginning their celebration as they will advance to the Eastern Regional Championship round against the Norcom Greyhounds. This is Bobby Sims, and Sims will not get in. He's down close to, let's say, the 2-yard line, and that might have very well been the last play of this ball game.
Tim, just a reminder, I hope I'm not talking over you, but remember that in 1976, Bethel beat this same Lake Taylor team with the same coach on their quest for their second state championship. Could be an omen.
10 seconds, the clock moving. This would appear to be the last play of the game. This is Iverson for the touchdown. With 1 second remaining, Iverson scores the touchdown to make it 25-7. So our players of the game, here's your replay. An interesting aftermath of this play. Iverson went into the end zone, and then as he's coming out, was tackled. Kind of a unique play. I thought maybe a penalty flag ought to be thrown on a stupid play like that by Lake Taylor, but none was called. Evans will try the extra point. It is up, and it is no good. So he continues to have his difficulties tonight, but it's totally of no consequence with 1 second remaining. And the Bethel Bruins on their way to a 25-7 victory over the previously undefeated Lake Taylor Titans. There's just enough time for the kickoff with 1 second remaining. So the Bruins will have a week to get themselves ready for their big clash with the heavily touted Norcom Greyhound team out of Norfolk. Excellent ball game by the Bruins. They fell behind 7-0 on a play that went 81 yards. Terrell for the Bruins defending on the play tipped the ball, had a good chance to either intercept it or knock it down. It fell neatly into the arms of John McSwain, and he raced into the end zone for the only Lake Taylor score. While the Bruins, on the other hand, have had a well-rounded offensive and defensive game. Certainly their defense has been excellent tonight, totally shutting down the running attack of Lake Taylor. Hodges came into the game averaging over 100 yards a game. He got 69 yards, but Staten with just 6 yards on the night. Check that, Hodges was averaging 88 yards a game. Staten averaged 100 yards a game coming into this game, over 100 yards a game. and the Bruin defense shut him cold for a total 6-yard net. And the Bruins came up with the defense when they had to do so. They kicked the ball out of bounds inadvertently a moment ago. Blake Taylor will get the ball at the 35-yard line. There you see. Bob, go ahead if you want to get a word in, or if you can't see me, so it doesn't matter anyway. First time I ever asked Bob to talk, and he's not listening to me. So the ball goes out of bounds, and it belongs to Lake Taylor. 1 second on the clock. It does look like the principal over there at Bethel High School might have gotten a premature shower tonight. And Lake Taylor simply takes the snap and drops to the ground.
Hey.
And this game's over with.
Hey, Tim, I got I got a very happy Dr. Bailey here, principal of Bethel High School. Tom, you and I were talking about the intensity this defense showed tonight.
Well, it was like last week. They did the same thing last week, and when this team plays with that kind of intensity, I believe they can beat anybody.
Well, they look like world beaters tonight. 4 points separates this team from an undefeated season.
Yeah, we would have liked to have gone in the Hampton game with the opportunity to be 9-0. That didn't happen. You saw a good ball game last week, and you saw a good Titan team tonight. Those kids were quick out there.
Well, they really were, but you take away that tipped ball, and
That's right.
This defense shut them down.
The defense shut them down, and we knew we had to do that coming in. We knew they were going to concentrate on the run game. That's what they were. They had two big backs, that not big in size, big in the fact that they had lots of yardage.
Right.
And they were quick. Very quick, and we knew we had to stop them before they got started, and they did.
Well, they did a great job, and congratulations.
I gotta get out there and say.
One more point. 1976, Kozlowski beat Bert Harrell, the coach of the same coach, same team, on his way to a state championship. Could be an omen.
That's what we hope. That's what we hope for, and I tell you, they worked hard for it, and I hope they get it.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks. Tim, let's go back up to you, and I'll get a hold of Kaz and some of the players.
All right, Bob, thank you. And, this also sets up a bit of a story here, because those of you who have the good memory of last year, and I know the Bethel Bruins will remember last year when they did play Norcom after that 9-3 victory over the Hampton Crabbers, and Norcom blew them off of the field at Darling Stadium, and I promise you that will be reminded to these young men throughout this week, as if they needed it, and they won't. By Coach Kozlowski, as he will undoubtedly use that as a motivation, if one would ever be needed, to tangle with this Norcom Greyhound team that we understand has beaten Hampton, denied the Crabbers an opportunity to win the game. The Crabbers down inside the 5-yard line on 2 different possessions, and were unable to score against the Greyhounds and pull out the victory that would have set up what I had hoped for, which would have been a rematch between these two teams, Hampton and Bethel. But at any rate, the Bruins will be very happy to return the favor against the Norcom Greyhounds next Friday night at a site that we are not certain of as of yet. But it is my understanding that we will be there to record that game and bring it to you here on Channel 5. And as you can see on the field, the Bethel Bruin football team celebrating a very good victory. They are really peaking at the right time here. They beat Hampton last week, beat Lake Taylor tonight. 2 teams that previously were unbeaten. And they'd like to make it 3 in a row against the Norcom Greyhounds next Friday night.
Hey, Tim, I got Coach Kaz. Coach, congratulations. Again, a fine defensive job by your group.
Well, we came out, we made some errors early. They were able to move the ball a little bit. Kind of a freak play on a touchdown. Our guy hit the ball and he caught it on a run. Kind of thought maybe, a little repeat of last year. But our defense rose to the occasion. Second half, I thought they did a superb job. They stifled the quarterback. Really, the whole defensive line deserves a lot of credit in our linebackers.
Well, they really did, and Xavier Gunn and Robinson just did a great job. But if you take away that 81-yard pass play, they only had like 40 yards the first half. And again, it was a fluke because the ball was tipped. But your guys don't quit, and that defense is getting better, Coach.
I'll tell you one thing, it sure looked like they had more yards than that to me.
Well, listen, congratulations, and we got you next week. From what I understand, you're going to play Norcom.
Well, I don't know who won. Well, whoever we get,
You'll take them one at a time.
That's all.
Well, congratulations,
Thank
Coach.
you very
I'll
much.
talk to you in the middle of the week.
Appreciate it.
All right, Tim, let's run that back up to you, and I'll get a couple of ball players.
All right, thank you. And my congratulations also to Dennis Kozlowski, one of the nice guys in football.
Tim, good. Appreciate it. Xavier Gunn. What a job defensively that you did tonight. You and Robinson in the linebacker just wouldn't let him get outside, wouldn't let him get the running game going.
Thank you. In practice all week, Coz has been telling us they had 2 good backs, and that we just had to hit them and wrap up. And he put us there, and we did the job.
Well, we did something we've never done. We have 2 player of the games, Allen Iverson and Xavier Gunn. So you're both going to get plaques, and you're both going to get shirts. I tell you, congratulations. I got Allen. Let me get Allen real quick, and then I'm going to talk to these other young men. Allen, they wouldn't let you get outside, so you couldn't be as explosive as you can, but you didn't lose your cool, and you made some good passes, some good decisions.
I knew coming in the game that they wasn't going to let me do what I wanted to do early in the season. But, I just buckled down, kept my composure. I started off slow at the beginning, but, I kept it going, and we won.
Well, I tell you did a great job, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
All right.
Good enough. Let me talk to Kelly Rogers. Kelly, great job. 2 fantastic catches. And you had one last week against Hampton where you're almost out of the end zone. Great concentration.
Thank you. Well, I don't know. Allen was just, at the beginning, he wasn't clicking, And then everything started going, the line started blocking, everything started going.
Well, a lot of times it's who wants the ball bad enough. And it looked like you and Xavier on that one pass play that you guys just won the ball worse than they did.
Exactly. It was just every time he threw it, we told him we was going after. We were just going to go get it.
Well, you did a great job, and congratulations.
All right.
All right, good, Alan. Appreciate it. Kelly, good. And who I got here? I got young Mr. Shepard, right?
Yeah. Jackson.
Yes, Michael Jackson. Excuse me. Michael, at first they stopped you because it looked like they were pinching in, but then you started hitting the holes, getting good openings with your offensive line, and did a great job.
Yeah, I was trying to feel my way out last week. Didn't get to run that much, and this week in practice I didn't get to run that much as well. But once I realized that I was hitting up in there, and the line was doing a fine job tonight, I felt I could get some good yards for us.
Well, I tell you, as a running back, the first people you got to look to pat on the back is your offensive line.
Definitely, Keith Anders, Jonathan Dean, Kevin Coulter, and Mike Schultz, and center Vincent Page did a fine job tonight. He did a fine job last week against Hampton, and I'm glad that they're continuing doing their effort out here so we can take it all the way.
Well, listen, you guys did a fantastic job, and congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay, Michael, thanks. Tim, let's go back up to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. And again, our congratulations to these young men and the rest of the Bethel Bruins for a great job in handing the first defeat of the season to the Lake Taylor Titans. While you were having those interviews, Bob, what we were had the opportunity to see was the catch by both Gunn and the touchdown in the end zone by Kelly Rogers. So those 2 young men on the receiving end of some pinpoint passes from Allen Iverson. The Bruins will have their hands full. They'll take on the Norcom Greyhounds next Friday night, and we will be there to bring you that game on delayed tape. So I hope you'll join us here again for high school football on Channel 5. The final score again, the Bethel Bruins 25, the Lake Taylor Titans 7. From Chenham Field, this is Tim Cole for Bob Hintz. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.